Good morning. I'm John Jones, Chairman of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to the notice provisions of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, with all participating authority members attending in person. While this meeting is open in public, there will be no public comments, as is OTA's longstanding historical practice. In addition to being open to the public for an in-person observation, the meeting is being live-streamed and recorded for remote viewing. The time is 10 a.m. and I'm calling the October 3rd, 2023 regular meeting of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority to order. Jenny, please call the roll.
Mr. Will Berry.
Here.
Mr. Todd Cone.
Here.
Mr. Gene Love.
Here.
Mr. John Titsworth.
Here.
Ms. Dana Weber.
Here.
Mr. John Jones.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. First item is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of September 12th, 2023. This is going to be voted electronically, as the rest of the items and the adjournment motion as well. Do I have a motion for the approval of minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thanks, Ms. Weber. Please cast your vote. The voting is ended.
Mr. Chairman, has all members voted on this?
Can you?
There appears to be 5 votes.
But it looks like somebody didn't take their vote.
Is there a way to redo it?
Yep. Mr. Chairman, as I understand how this system works, we'll need to ask for another motion so that we can have all members vote.
So moved.
Second?
So we have a motion and approval for a re-voting of the approval of the minutes. Is it set up to vote again? Is the system set up to vote
Yeah.
again?
Is there someone here that can provide some technical assistance?
They are, they're back there,
Okay.
and they can hear you.
All right.
And they have that momentarily.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I believe we have to wait till the system reboots.
So do you press on it like
Yeah, two.
I will remind the
I think so.
board members that it's not a touchscreen vote. You have to vote where the arrows are. So we can now.
Voting now?
Vote.
But yours-
Vote.
It said it, right?
Yeah,
Did you
They
hit
tell
yours?
me there's
Yeah.
no way to reset it, so we'll need to do verbal in this case.
Oh, we just
hit
revoted.
yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Now it's correct.
They did it.
Now that we have that out of the way, hopefully it'll move much expedient. Before we get to the items of business, I want to publicly acknowledge Vice Chairman Berry for sitting in my role last month and conducting the meeting. I was able to watch the live stream in my absence, and you did a great job. Thank you, Will.
Oh, thank you. That's not good.
Moving to the items of business, the first items are the finance items. Mr. Cone.
Amanda Bolden to the stand.
You are an attorney.
The pressure. Good morning.
Do I need to swear her in?
Yeah.
Submitted for consideration and approval of the authority is a request to authorize the director to negotiate and execute the 2023-2024 Appendix C with the Office of Management and Enterprise Services for an amount not to exceed $807,852. This is an annual renewal with OMES as part of the consolidated state services the authority receives from them. These services include, but are not limited to, the core employee management system, dark fiber, data center, phone services across the organization, along with the necessary network connectivity and customer service related phone features such as IVR, live agent, web chat, auto dialer, etc. The amount is an estimate due to the difference of budget timeframes between the agencies. OMES's App C is July 2023 to June of 2024, in line with their budget life cycle. OTA's budget is calendar year, so this estimate includes potential increase for July 2024 to June 2025 App C. OTA is transitioning in the next year from frontline toll collector personnel to back office customer service representatives. With this transition, the specific software needs will vary to perform the assigned responsibilities each group utilizes to perform their duties. This change is reflected in the estimate for 2024. Staff has reviewed the above item and recommends for approval.
I have a question,
Yeah.
just educationally. What is dark fiber?
Along the network, Turnpike Network, the fiber that we have.
Okay, it's just called dark fiber.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Thank you again for answering my numerous questions
No
yesterday.
problem.
Based upon the staff's recommendation, I would move for approval of item number 1111.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Again, vote via the touchscreen, and voting is available. Voting is ended. It's approved.
Mr. Chairman, before we give you consideration, item number 1112. Micah Gardner.
Good morning, Chairman Jones, members of the authority. Item number 1112 is the payment register prepared by the Comptroller Division. This payment register includes all payments made by OTA for the month of August 2023. The staff has reviewed this item and recommends this item for approval.
And I believe we all were provided a copy of this. Based upon staff's recommendation, I would move for approval of item 1112.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Voting is available now on the touchscreen. This item has been approved. The next agenda items are engineering and construction. Mr. Berry.
Thank you, Chairman Jones. First item, item 1113, will be presented by Mr. Garter.
Good morning, Chairman Jones, members of the board. I'll be presenting the items for construction division with the exception of the last change order, which TJ will be presenting. This first item contains a total of 3 supplemental agreements and change orders. Please stop me at any time if you have any questions. Our staff has reviewed this item and recommends for approval. The first is for JKT MC11. It's the Sarah Road widening between State Highway 152, extending north to Southwest 29th Street. This with Allen Contracting, change order number 3 and supplemental agreement number 6. It's in the amount of $995,088.94. This change order adds 2 new items to the contract and overruns 3 existing items to compensate the contractor for additional work. An item for asphalt binder adjustments is being added due to the rising cost of asphalt binder throughout the project. This project laid approximately 64,000 tons of asphalt from September 2021 to September 2023 on South Sarah Road between 29th Street and State Highway 152. This totals to $488,757.29 of additional cost to the project. An item for traffic signal equipment replacement is being added due to a voltage surge in the power distribution line. This distribution line powers the signal detection and controller equipment and damaged the equipment beyond repair. This change order also overruns 3 existing temporary traffic control items which were needed due to changed project sequencing and delays to the water line construction as detailed in supplemental agreement number 3. This change order is partially funded by both the City of Oklahoma City and the City of Mustang.
I have a question. Do we also get a change order downwards if the cost of the binder goes down?
Yes, sir, we
Okay.
do. The asphalt binder is governed by the spec, and if there's a base binder cost that's applied at the time the project was bid, and based on the binder going up or down more than 3% from that base binder cost, there's an adjustment that's made on each estimate where asphalt was paid.
Okay.
And that can go either way.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next, we have TMC 107D2. This is the interchange modifications at the Turner Turnpike, I-44 and State Highway 66. This is with Sherwood Construction, supplemental agreement number 6, in the amount of $66,866.19. This supplemental agreement adds 5 new pay items to the contract. Permanent barricades were added to eliminate an edge drop-off at the end of the roadway turnarounds at South 61st Street West Avenue and South 63rd West Avenue. An item was added to revise the planned 24-inch attenuator at the south end of Wall 2 to a 30-inch attenuator with a transition panel to meet safety criteria. 3.5-inch galvanized steel pipe posts were added due to proposed signposts being undersized for corresponding roadway signage. A slotted trench drain was added to a concrete driveway on Skelly Avenue to redirect stormwater runoff near an adjacent private property. Lastly, the 8-inch posts for exit signs 42 and 45 were substituted for 4-inch posts as they still meet all design criteria. And next will be TJ.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the authority. I wanted to present on item for EOC 2431, 32, and 33A, being that it is the result of a mediation with the contractor. This is for Kolb grading, and it is change order number 4. It's in the amount of $2,349,762.04. This agreement will provide payment to the contractor for negotiated settlement in accordance with Section 105.18 of the 2010 standard specifications for the project. This project began on September 10th, 2018, with 180 B-days bid for substantial completion, and the project reached substantial completion on June 18th, 2020, for a total of 647 days charged. The contractor's claim requested relief due to various issues, including differing site conditions, utility conflicts, and delay damages. Unfortunately, the authority and the contractor were not able to come to a resolution regarding these claims, and the formal claims process did proceed to mediation on September 18, 2023. The original amount requested to be paid at mediation was $8,762,452.26, and the final agreed settlement was $3,685,000. This agreement does resolve all claims associated with the project, including all time and disincentive charges, and sets the final payment owed to the contractor for all work items and claims. This is obviously not how we like to close out our projects, but sometimes it is just necessary in the process. The contractor and myself, we've been working for almost the better of 3 years to try to resolve this project, so it was not without lack of trying and effort on both of our parts. The total agreed upon sum of $3.6 million. We do still have a little bit of money left in the contract that we have been withholding due to delay damages, which is why we're not asking for you to fund the entirement of the claim. So I just wanted to be clear on that. We have reviewed all parts of item 1113. We do recommend your approval. Happy to answer any questions on this or the other 2 items.
Are there any other questions?
Well, it looks to me like the agreed amount is certainly less than what was asked for initially, so obviously we did pretty good during the mediation, so thank you.
I think Joe had told me quite a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, that nobody really wins in mediation.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it definitely still feels like a gut punch every time you walk out of there. But we are happy to finally have a resolution on it. I know the contractor is as well. So we'll take this one and lessons learned from it and move on to the next.
If there's no further questions, I move that we vote.
We have a motion for a vote and a motion to approve the item. Do we have a second?
Second.
Electronic voting is available. Voting is ended and this item passed.
Next item is item 1114, and will be presented by Mr. Garter.
Yes, this item is for the selection of the construction management contract for TMC 128C, which is a frontage road, county road, retaining wall, and bridge replacement project on the Turner Turnpike near Stroud, to CEC with a not-to-exceed of $587,234.54. This amounts to 7% of the construction contract. Staff has reviewed this item and recommends approval.
Are there any other questions? If no further questions, I move that we approve this item as presented.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thanks, Ms. Weber. Voting is available for this item.
Next item is item 11.
Just a second.
Yep.
This item was approved.
Next item is item 1115. Mr. Garter.
This item is for the selection of the construction management contract for TMC 131, which is a bridge replacement of Bridge 22.1 over State Highway 66 at Wellston and the Turner Turnpike, to Atkins Realis with a not-to-exceed of $2,645,051.91. This amounts to 5.5% of the construction contract. And also for note, Atkins Realis is the same firm formerly known as Atkins, which has done some rebranding, but remains the same Atkins company that provides service to the OTA. Staff has reviewed this item and recommends approval.
Are there any other questions? If not, I move that we approve this item as presented.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thanks, Ms. Weber. Voting is available. The voting is ended, and this passed approval.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you.
The next item is item 1116. Mr. Butler.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Berry, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good to see everyone this morning. Engineering Division has just one item we'd like to present today. That's item 1116. This is a construction contract award for project INMC 62F, and this is pavement rehabilitation, Dalbar retrofit and diamond grind from milepost 52 to milepost 70 in Pittsburgh County there on the Indian Nation Turnpike. Had 5 bidders on the project. Our low bidder was Diamond Surface Inc. there in the amount of $12,722,024.30. This is about 4.3% under the engineer's estimate. Staff's reviewed this, and we recommend approval.
Those were close bids.
Very good bids, yes.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Butler? If not, I move that we approve this item as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thanks, Ms. Weber. Voting is available.
My final,
Just a second.
Oh.
This item was approved.
apologize about that. My final item is item 1117 that will be presented by Mr. Gore.
Good morning, members. Today I present the following item. The following parcels consistent of approximate acres and locations identified below was previously acquired by authority. Parcel TB01, Section 36, Township Range, Township 17 North, Range 9 East, approximate .65 acres on the Turner Turnpike in Creek County. A staff review of the properties was conducted and has been determined that a portion of these described parcels in approximate acres identified was acquired as an unadequate remnant and is not needed for any construction or maintenance needs of the Turnpike system. Based on that determination, the staff recommends the authority consider and vote to declare the above parcel as surplus and authorize the director to obtain a survey, appraisal, sell, lease, or otherwise dispose of the property, including land swap, acquiring other property as needed. And this particular property, we are going to use it as a land swap during negotiations in this acquisition for this project. This is unadequate remnant from the landowner who secured that, and the other adjacent landowner has asked for just a swap of land. And so we're going to swap this for the land we need from them in equal trade.
Good, because that is a very weird shaped remnant.
Well, we got you the square one last time. We're going to give you a kind of unique shape this time.
Yeah.
Is the amount of acres that we're swapping the same?
It's not perfect same. Actually, we are going to get less. We're going to get more acreage from them than they're going to get from us by 0.2 difference. So it's very minor.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Gore? If not, then I move that we approve this item as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1117. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thanks, Ms. Weber. Please vote. The voting ended, and item was approved. That concludes that portion of the agenda. Now move on to the reports, and the first report is the Highway Patrol Report. Major Candidate.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Secretary Gatz, Director E. Kelly, Mr. Chairman, members of the authority. For the month of August, Turnpike troopers made 3,558 violator contacts, assisted 596 motorists, and investigated 116 motor vehicle collisions. We worked 963 shifts, averaging 188 miles per shift, for a total of 180,000 miles driven for the month. We did have 5 fatalities for the month. A little background on some of those. We had 3 on the Turner, 2 collisions, 3 fatalities, 1 on the Will Rogers and 1 on the Muskogee. We had 5 criminal interdictions on the turnpikes, and I've included specific information on enforcement, collision reduction, and motorcycle enforcement in your report for review. I would like to add, October 1st, we added 18 troopers to the rolls of the turnpikes. We'll add another one as soon as he recovers from some injuries. So that would be 19 from the academy. So that gives us a grand total of 112, not including myself. So we're at about 80% when compared to the rest of the patrol, which is 70%. We're making some progress. So happy to report that, and I'll stand for any questions.
That's good news.
It is.
I don't think I remember 5 fatalities in 1 month in all the years I've been on the board.
It really jumped out at me. It's a pretty high number. We've had a lot of fatalities.
Is there any trend or anything that concerns us that we should be looking at?
You know, as I look through, the general trend, at least for this month, was running off the road or striking a fixed object. On the Turner, we're still having issues with vehicles pulling to the side of the road and being struck. I mean, that's obviously there's some enforcement things we're trying to do, but haven't seen some results of that as of yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Major.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. The next report is the consulting engineer report. Jimmy Sparks.
Good morning, Chairman Jones, members of the authority, Secretary Gatz. Concerning the trust required services, the inspection data for the 2023 annual report is complete, and we can provide the board with any reports they wish to see. Just let us know. We're in the final stages coordinating with engineering, maintenance, and finance staff to finalize the 5-year capital plan, and it'll be presented by the OTA preliminarily next month, I assume. Last month, I reported that 68% of our turnpike pavements are approaching 50 years older, and over half of our 867 bridges fall into that same category, to reiterate the need for capital reinvestment. So I do have to report that our, pardon me, our 2023 annual report, we do have 2 bridges that fell into the structurally deficient category due to deck ratings being rated as a 4. I'd gladly report that one of those, Bridge 6449, is currently in construction under contract to INMC 67, and the other, Bridge 50.50, is scheduled for a letting in April of 2024. So, we're staying ahead, but with an aging system, there is always that need for capital reinvestment. In each of these cases, our maintenance staff has done an excellent job patching and keeping things safe until the construction contracts commence. In August, our engineers checked 14 overload trucks on the system. No special inspections in the month of September due to overheight impacts. We did do a kind of a follow-up site inspection on a bridge on the Creek Turnpike, and we're working with maintenance and engineering for paths forward on corrective actions. As always, our capital plan project summary is in our monthly report, and happy to answer any questions.
Jimmy, that second bridge you talked about, what turnpike is that on?
Both on the Indian Nation.
Both
Both of them are on the Indian Nation, yeah. And they are designed is pretty well completed, just awaiting letting on both, so.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. The next report is the trustee report. Ms. Singleton, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair, board members. As bond trustee for the authority, all monthly debt service transfers were made for the semi-annual payments to the bondholders as required by the trust agreement. To our knowledge, all other requirements set forth in the trust agreement have been satisfied. Questions of my report?
Any questions?
We always like that report.
Good report. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next report is the operating results and financial condition. Wendy Smith, good morning.
Chairman Jones, Secretary Gatz, members of the authority. You've all received your operations report in your packet for August prepared by the Comptroller Division, and I'm happy to report that net toll revenues for August of 2023 reported at $33.4 million, an increase of 9.1% as compared to August of 22. And with the national economy continuing to chug along, total transactions showed an increase of 3.7% over August 2022, with heavy truck traffic continuing to remain strong over that same period. Additionally, year-to-date toll revenues continue to outpace budgeted projections by 3.4%. So, today, I want to talk about something a little bit more exciting than that, I think anyway, about the credit rating agencies and their role in the markets and public finance in general. So investors utilize information from a single agency or multiple rating agencies, investors expect credit rating agencies to provide objective information based on sound analytical methods and accurate statistical measurements. These ratings affect borrowing costs, interest rates, investment decisions, and risk management strategies. Entities with higher ratings ultimately get easier access to capital at more favorable terms. On September 5th, the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, along with its consulting engineer, traffic engineer, and general counsel, did 2-hour conference calls with all 3 rating agencies, which included Moody's Investors Service, S&P Global Ratings, and Fitch Ratings. These calls serve as a review of the authority's current financial position, future traffic levels, pavement and bridge ratings, as well as future long-term capital spending. On September 14th, Moody's was the first to publish its rating, affirming the authority's AA3 rating with a stable outlook, which is equivalent to the AA-. According to Moody's, this rating reflects a well-established toll system that not only serves Oklahomans, but also facilitates essential national travel movements through the I-44 corridor. Moody's also stressed the authority's history of sound management and strong financial metrics. Fitch Ratings followed suit on September 20th with an equivalent rating to the Moody's AA3 rating as a AA- level rating and a stable outlook. Fitch cited the authority's critical role for intra and interstate traffic, along with its healthy financial position and stable traffic and revenue growth. On September 21st, we received S&P's assignment of a AA- rating with a stable outlook, completing the trifecta. I really wanted to make sure I used that word right. I was super excited to use it, and it's even bolded on here. The trifecta of ratings. S&P Global cited its view, and I quote, of the authority's large and mature system with resilient demand through different economic cycles and very strong management that continues to demonstrate the ability to adjust its expenses and debt when necessarily over the outlook horizon. That's a mouthful, but I wanted to actually quote that. So these ratings are among the highest ratings available to toll authorities. Ratings in this category of AA are judged to be of high quality and subject to very low credit risk. All 3 pointed out the authority's strong management. Those comments are a credit to every staff member in the organization, from those that keep the toll system running, to the maintenance workers that keep the roads clear and safe, to the customer service reps who man the phones, along with everyone else who keeps this agency up and running. And as I have spoke about before, this strong management served the authority well during the COVID-19 pandemic, in which it took significant measures to ensure that it could continue to service its customers and bondholders despite the negative impact on the authority's toll revenues. And with these measures in place, the authority ultimately was one of the fastest toll entities to return to pre-COVID financial conditions. And that actually was stated in all 3 rating agency conferences with them. So ultimately, with this strong management history, the authority has proven its capacity to balance the pace of the debt over the life of the Access Oklahoma program while also closely monitoring the timing of the revenue stream. We feel honored to continue to keep these well-earned ratings, and I'll take any questions.
What was the S&P rating again? I didn't catch that one.
AA- with
AA-.
a stable outlook. All 3 AA- stable. I would do my dance that I did that day, but I'm not going to. Micah?
So you know that's the same rating we've maintained over the years.
It is, and think about that with
and it's
what we're.
one of the highest ratings
Yes.
of any, I think it is the highest rating of any
Yes.
other authority in
Right.
the country. So that's just super good news.
Exactly,
especially-
and we have others that
and
share
just,
that.
Kudos to you and your staff again, Wendy, and the entire staff. I mean, we've gotten a little negative publicity the last year and a half, and
Right.
saying we weren't, monitoring our expenses and that sort of thing, and this just proves that
Yes.
that the management
Absolutely.
has really done an incredible job.
And really, like I said, this is a credit to all the staff, and it's an easy story to tell because of the story that we have to tell.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Next report is the Director Report, Secretary Gatz.
Mr. Chairman, board members, want to just not necessarily pile on to Wendy's report, but add on to it for sure, because that is significant. And AA- stable outlook is as expected. But again, the work that's been done and the reflection of the Turnpike Authority's management our capabilities, and our future is something that each and every one of you should be proud of. All of the Turnpike Authority team should be proud of, and quite frankly, all Oklahomans should be proud of. Because again, as we've stated, this is a well-managed organization that is managing an integral and critical part of our transportation infrastructure in Oklahoma. So again, congratulations for the bond rating. We're very excited about the future and very excited about progressing with Access Oklahoma. So again, just wanted to add to that a little bit. I'm not going to dance because that wouldn't be, but again, really, really appreciative of the team and the work that they did. The interaction with the rating agencies is intimidating. It's intense, and it is highly detailed. So again, it's a reflection of the team's efforts and the board's diligence in our management. So again, thank you for your support. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate the completion of the Driving Forward Capital Program. With the I-44 Turner Turnpike Route 66 bridge there on the east end in Tulsa, we have now completed all facets of the Driving Forward program, representative of a $1.2 billion investment not only in the Turnpike network but in upgrading Oklahoma's overall transportation infrastructure. 3 new alignments. We've increased travel reliability in eastern Oklahoma County between the Will Rogers World Airport and I-40 in Oklahoma City and in West Tulsa. We've significantly increased safety with the widening of the I-44 Turner Turnpike to 6 lanes between Tulsa and Kellyville, and with the reconstruction and toll modernization projects on the H.E. Bailey and the Muskogee Turnpike. We also widened and improved the pavement condition of several John Kilpatrick Turnpike bridges between 50th and Wilshire Avenue. That was certainly a factor in preparation for what will materialize in the Access Oklahoma program with the continuation of the widening project on the Kilpatrick. The final project completed September 22nd in Sapulpa, which was the new I-44 Turner Turnpike Bridge over State Highway 66 at mile marker 202 and 203. If you will remember, that was a substandard design bridge, very unusual and unique bridge, somewhat challenging from a traffic standpoint to get to Route 66 from I-44 and vice versa. Did not serve our citizenry very well. That partnership project with the Department of Transportation has changed that dynamic. And again, if you looked at the picture that was on the screen before, we enhanced safety, made a critical investment in Oklahoma's transportation infrastructure and our future. And not only that, but the thing that's really important to me that I don't want to leave unnoticed, and you can see it there, is a nod to Route 66. And that nod to Route 66 is significant because just as the Turnpike Authority has for 75 years, Route 66 has played such an important and critical role in transportation across the state of Oklahoma, and we're coming up on the centennial in 2026. So once again, the Turnpike Authority has developed and participated in iconic recognition of Route 66, and at the same time, we've enhanced and improved safety for the traveling public, and really proud of that project. Congratulations on the Driving Forward program and all of the improvements that were made. And again, I don't want to minimize the impact that that is already having on the traveling public. I was in a meeting the other day and was engaged in some discussion, listening to a little bit of discussion, and the comment was made that as you travel down the Turner Turnpike and you come into the widened section, if you're moving east towards Tulsa, your whole mentality changes. Again, We talked this morning about fatality accidents on the Turner, and that's always a huge concern for us. But that statement in itself is recognition of the safety factor that we have built into that 6-lane section. And your mentality does change. It's a whole different experience, and has proven to be a much, much safer turnpike segment. Further reinforcing the desperate need right now to continue those widening efforts and connect Oklahoma's 2 major metropolitan areas. We are going to accomplish that in Access Oklahoma, and again, we look forward to additional projects to continue that widening, to continue supporting the traveling public with that change in mentality, and making our turnpike network safer. So once again, we appreciate your support of driving forward. Look forward to what we're going to accomplish in Access Oklahoma.
I would just like to say I got to ride on that new section of 44. It's in the Sapulpa area. Oh, wow, is it beautiful. It's very nice, very nicely done. And yes, your whole demeanor and attitude is different when you're on that section.
Yeah, well done to the team. And in continuation, starting soon to start October 9th. Another capital project to be aware of is the $8.3 million bridge reconstruction and frontage road project on I-44 on the Turner near Stroud. This is a precursor to the realignment of I-44 and the Turner Turnpike Service Plaza. Next project's tentatively scheduled for 2025. And again, this is in preparation to start to get some of the cursory work around the travel plaza ready to support that major project to replace the Hoback Travel Plaza there at Stroud. You'll recall the reconstruction of the new construction of the travel plaza at Chandler. During that time, we changed the travel plaza at Stroud to westbound access only. The travel plaza at Chandler now serves the eastbound need. And ultimately, we'll reconfigure. The Turner Turnpike now goes around on both sides of the Stroud Travel Plaza. We'll reconfigure the Turner in the ultimate 6-lane width to the south side of the Travel Plaza and reconstruct that entire footprint. I would say that we're going to maintain access to that from westbound traffic for as long as we absolutely can. And then ultimately, we will rebuild that and reconstruct it in a very superior form. So we're looking forward to continuing with that project. The 2-way frontage road that this project we're talking about will encompass is added between Old Stroud Road and State Highway 99 north of 8th Street near Stroud. We're also going to reconstruct portions of Old Stroud Road and West 7th Street near the Turnpike as part of the project. And later, motorists will see some shoulder work along the Turner Turnpike as part of the project. We want everybody to be aware of this construction, but at the same time, be aware that most of this will not impact the mainline Turner significantly, but we do expect some closures. We are going to have some bridge work that is over the top of the Turner, and we want certainly the public to be aware that this construction project is coming and about to get started, and 100% be mindful of the construction work zone that's going to be there, because again, it's not significant in the context of some of the widening projects that we've had on the Turner, but it is significant as it will affect the mainline travel at some points. So again, just wanted everybody to be aware of that. And that's a good segue into this month's safety awareness campaign. We're putting an extra emphasis once again on work zone safety. With the crashes and fatalities we're seeing increasing in not just Oklahoma but nationwide. The data in Oklahoma shows that drivers and passengers are far more likely than our workers to lose their lives in crashes inside work zones. One of the simplest ways to avoid a fatality crash is to always wear your seatbelt. Oklahoma ranks 40th in the nation for seatbelt use, and we've got to improve that ranking by making better choices and making sure that we're buckled up. Crashes involving commercial motor vehicles in Oklahoma work zones are among the highest in the nation. And that's something we've got to work hard on trying to overcome. The past 5 years, there were 25 work zone fatality crashes, with an additional 42 crashes resulting in serious injuries involving commercial motor vehicles across the state highway system. Work zones are some of the most dangerous locations on our highway. That's why we lower the speed limits. That's why we have plenty of advance notice that you're coming into a work zone. What we ask the traveling public to do is help us out. Slow down, put away your distractions. Every time you get behind the wheel, buckle your seatbelt, because nobody ever leaves home in the morning intending to have an accident, but they happen every day. And that seatbelt by itself can be the difference between a serious injury accident, a fatality accident, or maybe making it home to your family that day in the event you are in a crash. So again, want to call attention to that and make sure we're aware we're going to see some new work zones on the Turner materialize. We've also got the major project that's coming up that will impact traffic there at Wellston. So once again, another interaction with Highway 66, one we're looking forward to get started later in the spring. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would stand for any questions that the board may have of me.
Any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes all of our items and our reports. I request a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second?
Second?
Thanks, Ms. Weber. Please vote to adjourn the meeting. We are adjourned to the next meeting scheduled for Tuesday, November 7th, 2023.